is near, while folks ride hoverboards and wedding gear. Hey, what in the Walmart rapture is this mess? Florida's a movie, but it's filmed in VHS. Someone fed meth to a squirrel named Dave, and now he's in a cage just throwing rave.
Hello, you guys. Well, it was supposed to be Dolly Parton, but it's a little more Loretta Lynch. That being said, I hope that you are all having a great morning. YouTube is doing something really weird. It looks like it put up 2 streams, so I don't know exactly what is going on here. And I wish I had the technical ability to figure out which one was which, but I don't. So I am trying to figure out what YouTube has done, which invariably is going to lead me into all manner of shenanigans. So I have not one clue which stream is actually going, but we're working on it. Good Lord in heaven, which one of these is going? You know, this is why I'm a professional, y'all. Gosh. Well, good morning, everyone. I did try, I for some reason thought that this was more blonde, but it definitely looks like Loretta Lynch playing Sissy Spacek in Coal Miner's Daughter. So kind of, and it does look a bit like my favorite Dolly, Truvy from Steel Magnolias. I always wanted to be Truvy. I did. I was going to grow up and be like glamorous Truvy and have my own salon. Oh, thank you. Yeah. Yeah. Squid Pro Quo, I put out the new layout. I don't know how I like it. It just wouldn't let me set up a stream without it. So I have absolutely not one clue about the multiple outlook thing, but hopefully it's working right. Y'all, I don't know. Let's be real. I spent a lot of time dressing up as Dolly and not so much as, trying to figure out what the heck I was doing on StreamYard. My husband was like, "Oh, we are so going out in this." And I was like, "You think I'd be upset to go out looking like Truvy? Hell no. I will go out and steal Magnolia myself all over the place." That being said, I do need to go out. So there you go. Go into Walmart as Truvy. Now, I do have a question. Who decided frosted blue was a good look? Maybe it looks better with brown eyes, but I have never understood frosted blue with blue eyes. That being said, if you were from that time period and you could explain it to me, because I was a whole lot confused, but there is in fact still blue, eyeshadow out there. So if you are looking for some, I did find it, and there you go. You are welcome, Squid Pro Quo. As always, it is wacky, cosplay Wednesday. I am sourcing an Elvira look. So if you would like to donate at any time to my wig obsession for cosplay Wednesdays, breadstick money, not ramen noodle money, as Megan says, please think about it, because Mr. Mo says I need to fund my own cosplay stuff. I was like, yeah, probably. Now, we do have some really odd story updates, at least, Yes, it's like my own version of Where's Waldo. I dress up every day in odd costumes. I am, in fact, every person you see on that, People of Walmart. Let's see, Alice G. And let me go ahead and pull up the stream again. And copy that so that other people in the other stream can get it, because I swear I don't know where I am today. So that is actually the stream. I'll put it up in the other one. Oh, for the love of Cheetos and spam. What am I doing today? Not too much. Oh, now it has 2. Okay, I am all the confusion. Look. I don't understand the vertical stuff. I will probably not be pushing that button again. That's all I'd have to do. That's all I have to say about that. Now, in our first story, this has been a case we've been following for about a month since the time stopped. Now, again, I'm not a big David rap guy with the number name fan, but the Celeste Rivieras Hernandez case has been up for about a month, and people are starting to ask questions because a case has not been filed with, the DA or things like that. Now, the investigation into the body of teenager Celeste Rivieras Hernandez, who was found in the trunk of a Tesla registered to musician David with a 4 in his name for no effing reason, back in September, has drawn loads of speculation online. However, the Los Angeles police said that so far the only crime that was confirmed in the case, which still remains without any, announced suspects, would have been the concealment of a body and not so much the homicide. Again, we are probably waiting on ME reports and things like that, but it is a little interesting how we're not getting a lot of updates about this. Now, on Thursday, November 6th, the LAPD issued a statement to KTLA updating them on the status of the investigation. Now, authorities stood by their press release on September the 29th, which stated that the Los Angeles County Medical Examiner has not yet determined the cause or manner in Hernandez's death. Therefore, it remains unclear whether there's any criminal culpability beyond the concealment of the body. Now, in order to qualify as a crime, there must be an active effort to conceal the body. The failure of reporting the accidental death is not a crime itself. Now, the LA County District Attorney's Office reportedly confirmed that their office has not received a case submission regarding this matter. So it does look like they are still really investigating this case, but it has started to draw questions as to why nothing else has been sent to the DA. Anything. So it's definitely a case I will be looking at and keeping you guys up to date. But people are starting to ask questions as to why nothing has made it to the DA's office. Well, apparently Diddy decided to, make his own Boone's Farm jailhouse hooch. Sarah Boone is so proud. Now his defense team is saying he had nothing to do with the prison hooch. I mean, if you told me he was distilling baby oil. Sean Diddy Combs' family is defending the jailed mogul after a report about his prison behavior that they claim is completely falsified. Now, after TMZ published an article on November 7th about Combs allegedly making and consuming hooch at New Jersey's FIC Fort Dix, a low-security prison where the 56-year-old was transferred in late October. Now, a spokesperson for the family has pushed back against the jailhouse hooch allegations. Quote, "The rumors claiming Mr. Combs was caught with alcohol are completely false. He's taking this healing journey seriously. I've never heard jail being termed a healing journey. But if you have a parole officer on LinkedIn, now you can put healing journey for this from the state, circa 10 years. Apparently, jail is now a spa. And he's staying focused on growth and accountability, said Judah S. Engelmeyer in a statement to Ashbury Park Press. So there you go. He is not making prison hooch. His family said no. His only goal is to get back with his family, and he's not jeopardizing that for anything. Now, a similar message was shared on Combs' X account on November 9th, but is no longer available. Now, when reached out to, a spokesperson for Fort Dix said, "We have no knowledge of this information. Further, we would not be able to disclose any information pertaining to internal inmate matters. It wouldn't be public information." So I guess, I guess he did or did not make it, depending on who you're asking and which publicist. That being said, I have only one question. What flavor was it? Was it, tropical punch or botulism? I mean, at least he's learning a science. He can come out and be, Bill Nye for this generation. This is how you make prison hooch, children. Well, a Russian crypto scammer in a $500 million scheme and his wife dismembered as part of a gruesome extortion plot. You know, I just saw dismembered and I was going to hit that headline. A scammer that raised more than $500 million through a fraudulent crypto app before fleeing with his investors' money was, well, red-rummed and dismembered along with his wife when furious kidnappers discovered his empty crypto wallet. Russian nationals Roman Novak and his wife Anna were last seen on October 2nd after being lured to a mountain resort outside of Dubai by criminals posing as potential investors. According to a Russian outlet, Komoslatska Pradva? Look, not Russian. I know you're shocked. Now, the couple who had frequently flaunted their luxurious lifestyle in Dubai with online photos of themselves enjoying fast cars and fast jets were being extorted for their cryptocurrency stash, according to the newspaper, citing UAE law enforcement. Now, the pair apparently won no friends as they frequently posted photos of Rolls Royces and a vintage British Cobra car worth a staggering $1.9 million combined, as well as photos of trip to Disneyland and other things. Yeah, don't steal people's money and then flaunt the fact that you're living large on that money. I'm just saying it will either start a Snapped episode or a federal or Interpol thing. Don't, steal people's money in Russia. Like, you must have a brass pair if you're going into Russia and lying to the Bratva. Now, I've only known about the Bratva from, Smexy books, so I am sure that there's a lot less, bound chicka wow wow in the real Bratva. But, they seem to be not nice people. Don't steal from criminals and flaunt it. That being said, and thank you, very good, Alice G., they didn't deserve to be dismembered. I don't understand anything about crypto, so just as a future forewarning for anyone that wants to try to kidnap Mo, you can get a lot of wigs. I have no crypto. I have no idea what it means. So I have no crypto money. But you will get a lot of wigs, so, think about that. Well, if you had a reservation at Marriott, you might want to check your reservations. Marriott guests are being left homeless as rental company Sonder abruptly goes out of business with, the deal to purchase the hotel was terminated. Hotel guests around the world were left homeless when they were evicted from their rentals with only hours' notice after Marriott-backed chain Sonder filed for bankruptcy, creating a vacation nightmare for hundreds. Stinger Bell, it was supposed to be Dolly Parton, but it's more Loretta Lynch, so we're going Coal Miner's Daughter or Truvy from Steel Magnolias, who is my favorite Dolly, although I do like Straight Talk too. I forgot that this was more brown than blonde. It's early Dolly before she found peroxide. Now, Sonder Holdings Incorporated announced an immediate wind down of operations on Monday after filing for Chapter 7 bankruptcy, initiating a liquidation of U.S. businesses and beginning insolvency proceedings overseas. Now, Marriott terminated its licensing agreement with the San Francisco-based company on Sunday after the apartment-style accommodations defaulted in its August 2024 agreement. And I feel bad people were being kicked out of hotel rooms. They had no idea where else to go. Steve McGraw, a retired tech executive, was in the middle of a 17-day stay in New York City with his wife, daughter, and newborn granddaughter at Sonder Battery Park Apartments Financial District when he found out the company had abruptly gone out of business. The family had booked their trip through Marriott before receiving alerts on Monday that they were being kicked out of the rental a week into their stay. Now, McGraw and his family had until 9 a.m. Tuesday to leave the building and doled out thousands of dollars in their desperate search to finish their trip. We ended up spending several $1,000s more to find a new place. It was very disruptive, and they treated us so poorly. Now, another guest recorded herself trudging across a snowy Montreal with her luggage following the company's breakup. POV trying to maintain my composure while dragging my luggage down the street after Marriott Hotels and Sonder Hotels broke up with each other on a random Sunday and told us to GTFO out of the hotel room we had booked for another 3 nights in Montreal. Now, another TikTok user said a hotel room in the Canadian city went for $220 a night. Basically, a bunch of people were being kicked out of their hotels. Now, Sonder was founded in 2014 and had about 19,000 units of these apartments worldwide, with hubs in Denver, San Francisco, Montreal, London, and Amsterdam. So this is international, and this is definitely going to be something. Now, looking at this from a legal lens, I do foresee this possibly being something that a class action lawsuit or some kind of civil protections would be able to go. So I foresee this becoming a bigger issue in the future, especially with litigation, because you don't kick a bunch of people out and ruin their vacations and not expect to get sued out of your everything. Although they are liquidating, so I don't know how that's going to work, but I foresee lawyers getting involved bigly. Another thing to remember, if you are planning on traveling this Thanksgiving or holiday season, right now the government is shut down. And while the government is not doing anything on purpose, it looks like it might throw a wrench into a lot of travel plans. While I do know that there were some talks between both sides to maybe get the government back rolling, it's still going to take a while, and this is kind of staring us right in the face. So this isn't mainstream media trying to scare you, but definitely keep an eye on this because it is going to throw a wrench in the works. And I'm guessing even if they got everything going today, there's still going to be a wrench in the works just because, restarting things and all of that stuff takes a little bit. The government is a Goliath and it doesn't start on a dime, although it does spend on a dime, so go figure. The U.S. faces travel Armageddon this weekend if Congress doesn't end government shutdown. I don't think I'm ever going to do the vertical thing again. I tried it today just to see if it would work, but it is confusing to have two different streams. So I don't know that I'm going to do it again until I can really figure it out. I probably should have watched that video explaining it more carefully. I will take full ownership that I should not touch technology I don't fully understand. But that would leave me unable to deal to deal with any technology because I don't understand any of it. Now, flyers across America could face a travel Armageddon over the weekend if the government doesn't reopen by then, said Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy. More than 10% of flights could be delayed nationally, he warned, adding that some airlines might even decide to ground their fleets altogether. You may find that some airlines stop flying full stop, Duffy said. Now, last weekend's travel delays, which saw thousands of flights canceled and scores more delays, will be tiddlywinks, his quote, not mine, according to what might happen this weekend if the government isn't open this week. It's going to radically slow down, the secretary said, so the House has a lot to do. Over 4,500 flights were canceled across the U.S. last weekend in one of the worst travel weekends since the government shutdown began more than 40 days ago on October the 1st. Now, air traffic controllers have been calling in sick for work in droves as they go weeks without pay, leading to travel snafus throughout the country as airports are forced to limit the number of flights landing and landing rates to avoid potential catastrophic accidents. Now, I wish I were a wiser person. I wish I could tell you guys how to fix this. I don't know. I know that the, air controllers were unionized and federalized. I don't know if going back to private, industry providing air traffic controllers is the smart way. I don't know. What I do know is that, if you do have plans, try to talk to your travel agency or the coordinators, talk to your airlines, and, double check that you're still going to have a flight. I mean, that's all the wisdom I can give you. I wish I could tell, Congress to get their act together, but I may be dressed up as as the love child of Loretta Lynch and Dolly Parton, but I don't have their power. I do have half of Dolly's rack, but we need full Dolly's rack in order to fix Congress. And Dolly's nice. See, I'm kind of a B word, so it'd be like the coat of many assholes. Congress is a place of many assholes. They come in all shapes. Listen, I will the place of many assholes, Moe's Country Edition will be coming out very soon. Yeah, it is yeah, the links are all messed up, you guys. I have no idea what's going on. That being said, I have no idea. And yes, that is my word whisker. That being said, I don't say but I'll say that all the time. So I'll start putting a fine on me eventually. I don't know what's going to fix this, but I do want you guys to keep an eye on it. I mean, we can get everything crossed. Hell, my fallopian tubes are crossed, hoping that that Congress, figures something out. Although, I mean, they were crossed for other reasons too. 6 children. But there you guys go. It does look like there might be delays and things like that. So if you do have stuff set up for the coming weeks, keep an eye on that. The cause of Ace Frehley's death has finally been revealed. The cause of death has been announced following the death of Ace Frehley, the original guitarist and founding member of the legendary rock band Kiss. On October 16th, Frehley's family announced that the iconic rocker had passed away at 74 after suffering a fall in his Morristown, New Jersey home. Now, a report from Morris County Medical Examiner obtained by Entertainment Weekly confirms that he passed away from blunt force injuries from the fall. Now, the manner of his death was ruled as an accident. Frehley's family announced his death last month in a statement shared with Entertainment Weekly, which read, "We are completely devastated and heartbroken in his last moments. We are fortunate enough to have been able to surround him with loving, caring, peaceful words, thoughts, prayers, and intentions as he left this world." Now, the family's statement continued, "We cherish all of his finest memories, his laughter, and his strengths and kindness that he bestowed on others. The magnitude of his passing is of epic proportions beyond comprehension. Reflecting on all of his incredible life achievements, Ace's memory will continue to live on forever." So it does look like he passed away, unfortunately, because of a fall. As a person who struggles with the arch nemesis gravity, I can understand that. And I do hope that his family is getting the love and support from both fans and people that were close to him to deal with this loss. I know a lot of people are grieving his loss, as fans, and I hope that they are able to come together too and get some comfort from each other. Who the hell would steal Olympic medals from someone? Who is that much of an absolute dirtbag human? Olympic figure skating legend Sarah Bonley reveals that her medals were stolen from her Vegas home while she was away caring for her cancer-stricken mother. Who in the claptrap does this? I mean, Satan, can we get some help? You go find this MFer and we'll give him to you, allegedly in Minecraft. Who does that? Former French Olympian figure skater Sarah Bonley had her medal stolen from her Las Vegas home by a pair of thieves over 4 days while she was caring for her cancer-stricken mother. Now, Bonley, 51, is asking the public and pawn shops near and around the Sin City to be on the lookout for the medal she won over her illustrious career. The French-born figure skating icon posted on Instagram Sunday night. "You'll see those medals that I won in the past while competing in different worlds and European championships. Well, they're gone. Several days ago, someone, completely burglarized my home and stole all of my valuables. A little reminder to Vegas residents or pawn shops, if you see some foreign gold or silver medals for sale, please, people, call the police immediately." Now, security footage from her home, located about 7 miles west of the Las Vegas Strip, captured what she described as a well-organized burglary. Footage obtained by Fox 5 Vegas showed different individuals arriving each day, shattering windows and tearing down cameras, cutting the Wi-Fi during a calculated break-in. It's definitely organized by a company or some bad people, she said. Now, during the break-in, she was in Minnesota caring for her mother who had been battling lung, breast, and sternum cancer. Now, she is also so this woman is also dealing with breast cancer right now, currently, going to help her mother who's dealing with cancer, and some jackasses decided to steal her gold medals? Again, who the actual hell does this kind of crap? And I hope they get caught and we get to see them. If I were the judge, we'd get to see them try to do triple Lutzes, okay? Every day for 55 years. I'd make them do it to Gloria from Flashdance. Oh, I'd make them sequence and everything every morning until they got one right. Now, Bonley is undergoing breast cancer treatment right now while maintaining her work as a trainer, and said that she returned 3 days after the burglary to find her home completely ransacked. She then made the wrenching discovery that all of the medals that she's won over her illustrious career, which spanned between 1989 to 1995, had been stolen. European champion or world champion, junior, everything. Any medals that had to do with my skating are gone. Now, she earned 5 European and 5 French national titles, and the medals commemorate pivotal moments from the international arenas that she skated throughout her career. I was there when the president of France, gave me that present, so it was a big honor. The championship skater lost her hard-earned medals, and it's filled her with both heartbreak and anger. Well, I feel mad. I feel like sometimes I want to cry. Some people just feel like it's better to steal something than to work for it. Now, she later found a similar vest a woman was wearing during the break-in, abandoned one street over. Being robbed of all her prized possessions has left her heartbroken, but she still loves her neighborhood and plans to stay, but does plan to boost security around her home with additional cameras. I'm hoping I can find some of my medals. I'm really hoping. I pray really that no one's going to melt the medal. Now, Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department is investigating the burglary, and this woman was amazing. She was able to do a backflip, which is something that a lot of women can't do. Now, it is a legal move. You are not supposed to be able to do it. I think Mark Hamilton did it, or Scott Hamilton. One of the Hamiltons, and not the one, or Hamill. Look, one of the I'm bad with names, but he was kind of baldish and he did a backflip, but it's super duper illegal. The things I know about the things I know about skating, not a lot, but I loved ice castles. Robbie Benson, that voice, those eyes. Yes, be still Moe's teenage heart. Mark Hamill. Good. I was like, I know it's not Peggy Lipton. Yes, Blades of Glory. That's what they would be made to do. And check out Rosalind's channel. She is awesome. All the snark, all the petty in one place. It's amazing. Well, the bitch is back. I mean, he sang it. I guess he can be it. Elton John apparently threw a fit backstage at the 2025 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. My plane is waiting. Well, I mean, I guess if he wanted to be, a catty queen, he was. Elton John is still every bit of a prima donna as he was in 1999. The tiny dancer hitmaker at 78 apparently threw a hissy fit backstage at Saturday night's Rock and Roll Hall of Fame ceremony, according to spies at Page 6. Now, the show was running a little bit too behind for the Rocket Man crooner before he went on, and it set him into a spiral, hurling insults at the organizers behind the scenes at the Peacock Theater. So, Elton John was acting like a jackass at the Peacock Theater. That should have been the title. Why am I coming up with all the creative stuff? you know, Elton John shows his ass at Peacock Theater. Now, John was so incensed that he apparently was yelling things and asking things like, "What the hell is wrong with you people? No one knows what they're doing." Like so many travelers caught in intense airport delays caused by the shutdown, John was apparently concerned about travel hiccups. Though Sir Elton John's, concerns were a wee bit different for most people. We were told that the 1994 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductee barked, "My plane is waiting." Yes, it was a private jet. He had to worry about no delays, as he was standing by waiting to pay musical tribute to late Beach Boys mastermind Brian Wilson. So yeah, apparently he could not be bothered. His plane was getting ready to go. So apparently once a diva, always a diva. Sir Elton John. Yes, I know, but I'm not English. And we in fact fought a revolution, although I would knight myself. No, I'd empress myself. I'd deputize myself empress of the pettyverse. Someone needs to put out a, wellness check on Jim Carrey, because what has this man done to his face? Y'all, I got questions. Who is this, and why is Mickey Rourke taking over for Jim Carrey? Y'all, what has he done to his face? This man has never had them cheekbones. Nope. Something has gone definitely wrong with him, and I don't know. But there you go. Jim Carrey's decided to have cheekbones for reasons we can't figure out. Yes, Jim Carrey's new look during a rare outing sets tongues wagging. What the hell happened to his face? Jim Carrey has raised eyebrows with his appearance during a red carpet reunion with his How the Grinch Stole Christmas co-star, Taylor Momsen. Now, it was their first time together since filming the classic movie, and Momsen shared high praise for the actor from their time on the set. Okay, riddle me this, Hollywood. Y'all can afford expensive stuff. Why are you going to Guam for your plastic surgery? What is wrong? I mean, he looks like a better version of the thing that Mickey Rourke got done with his face, but a better version of a broke Mickey Rourke is not what I would go for as an aesthetic. But they're adult pretenders, and I don't know. Is he still going to be able to do the wacky thing, though? Because look, pray for Jim Carrey, y'all. I don't know how or what he's going to do, but he got a new face. Now, this is going to be a longer part of this. I will be breaking this into a video. It's definitely an important story. It's from my neck of the woods, Indiana, of course, making Hoosiers look redonkulous, in perpetuity. But this is definitely going to be a case that ties in with the sort of craptastic job that DCYF has been doing, in Indiana. So while this is, mainly focused on Indiana, it's definitely a case that anyone who's watched the Tim's case from over on Megan Fox's channel, this is definitely a case that I will be covering, and it's heartbreaking. So buckle in. We will do a palate cleanser after this, but it's definitely one I want to get out there. There was no secret. A family of 5-year-old Kensley Welty files a lawsuit against DCS. Now, there's an editor note. This is obviously going to contain some description of what this little baby girl went through. It's not going to be easy, but I hope you do stick with me. Every day, the grandfather of 5-year-old Kensley Welty questions how the Indiana Department of Child Services could have failed on multiple occasions to notice the CA that was happening to his grandchild. The signs of abuse were obvious, Brian Welty said. She was mostly skin and bone by the time the Indianapolis Metropolitan Police Department found her inside of a closet on her mother's Southwest Side home near death on April 9th, 2024. Kensley was forced to live in the closet with little to no food or water. Now, the Welty family, along with attorneys Cohen Malad and Snyderman Law, have filed two lawsuits, one on behalf of the girl's grandfather and one on behalf of her father, against DCS on November 6, 2025. Now, their goal is to discover how the system failed Kinsley and to hold the department and its staff legally responsible for her death. Quote, "This abuse was no secret to Indiana's Department of Child Services," end quote, Gregory Laker, an attorney at Cohen Malad, said during a November 7th press conference. "Only by determining what happened and why people who were supposed to help instead failed Kinsley will we be able to answer the family's question." Now, the Indianapolis Star, which is our local kind of paper, did reach out to Indiana Department of Child Services about these lawsuits. Now, the department noted that it couldn't comment on these specific cases, but it did defend the department's caseworkers. Yes, they routinely left her in the care with her mother, who left her locked in a closet without food and water, but they're excellent workers. They just missed a scotch. Quote, "Family managers are often put in challenging situations and must make difficult life or death," underline the death, and yes, I'm reading them for filth, decisions in child safety. Yeah, tell that to the, scores of children you either lost or unalived this year, Indiana DCYF. The department's statement said, "We appreciate the complexities of the decisions they must make and support them in keeping Hoosier children safe. You did wonderful job for Kinsley, you asshats." Excuse my French. Now, Laker and the other attorneys believe that DCS may have prematurely closed 3 of the 6 anonymous complaints that had been brought against Kinsley's mother, Toni McClure. According to an affidavit, the DCS case managers closed 3 of the investigations without even looking into Kinsley, not even seeing the child. Now, attorneys believe that case managers misused the Safety Assessment Closure Team, or SAFE Act, a policy created to expedite the closure of low-risk cases, despite not having properly investigated those 3 claims. "We think that the statute was abused purposely in this case," Laker said. "These allegations typically take a month to 45 days to 60 days to investigate and make a thorough determination whether a child is safe. These allegations were closed in 2 days, in 10 days, and in 2 days, with a sign-off by the supervisor indicating that Kinsley was safe." Now, regarding the other 3 cases, DCS managers conducted an assessment on Kinsley's siblings after the department received anonymous tips about their condition. Now, case managers were able to see her siblings during their assessment. Now, attorneys argue in the complaint that if DCS managers had conducted a thorough investigation of all of the allegations, they would have caught the neglect of the 5-year-old before she passed away. Now, in 2024, Marion prosecutor finally charged McClure with murder, criminal confinement, battery of a person under the age of 14. Now, a prosecutor announced that he is seeking a lifetime sentence for McClure, which is much higher than Indiana calls for generally for these cases. So just for a standard murder case, a life sentence wouldn't be something that Indiana would typically push for, but prosecutors are pushing for it in this case. Now, prosecutors have also filed charges against Ryan Smith, McClure's boyfriend, and Tammy Hazley, Kinsley's grandmother, for neglect resulting in death. Now, each of their cases are pending. Smith and Hazley are expected to have their case heard at the end of 2025, and McClure's case has been moved to next year. Now, Kinsley Welty hadn't turned a month old before DCS had received their first report in 2018 that she was being neglected and living in poor conditions. Now, the department then placed Kinsley with her grandfather, Brian Welty, between the years 2018 and 2021, while they investigated the case according to the complaint. Now, the allegations of the report were sustained on January 28th, 2019, and McClure was convicted of neglect of a dependent in 2020. Now, Kinsley, for some ungodly reason, was united with her mother sometime in 2021. McClure would briefly lose custody of her children later that year when they were taken to a hospital with marks, welts, and bruisings. But the children were returned to McClure's custody after DCS failed to present a medical witness at the ensuing fact-finding hearing. So these children had documented signs of CA, and DCYF couldn't get his head out of its butt and get a medical, witness of any kind to say this. This case is infuriating. Oh, good Lord, I can't even say the word. I'm so pissed off. This case will piss you off. It would be almost 2 years later that DCS would receive more anonymous reports, one on November 6 of 2023 of neglect and CA involving Kinsley, according to that complaint. Now, that report alleged that McClure was not feeding Kinsley, was laying hands on her, left marks, and would force her to stand for hours. But according to the complaint, the case manager ultimately labeled the allegations unsubstantiated just 2 days later, quote, despite never having made face-to-face contact with Kinsley. So they never saw this child, never investigated, and let her stay with her craptastic incubator. Now, this pattern would continue after DCS received 3 more anonymous reports of alleged neglect and abuse on December 5th, December 12th, and December 14th of 2023. Now, all these cases were again considered unsubstantiated after the caseworker failed to locate the family. On January 25th, 2024, DCS received a report that Kinsley's older brother had been missing from school for several days. Now, the following day, the case manager was able to make face-to-face contact with Kinsley's older brother and determine that he was safe and closed the assessment as unsubstantiated yet again. Now, Welty's attorneys argue that in the complaints that although DCS case managers were able to locate Kinsley's brother, they did not attempt to locate Kinsley during that visit or during any of the follow-ups of any of the unsubstantiated complaints. There needs to be a rule, if there isn't one, that says you simply can't do a drive-by check-in, which is what we believe happened here, Laker said during a press conference. Now, court documents reveal that DCS case managers had one more opportunity to locate and try to save little Kinsley after they received another anonymous report on March 3rd of 2024. Then on April 9th of 2024, a Department of Child Services caseworker visited McClure's home after her newborn daughter had tested positive for THC. Now, the caseworker made physical contact with the infant and determined that she was safe. When the caseworker asked about Kinsley, McClure told the worker that she was with her grandparents. However, a few hours later, Indianapolis Metropolitan Police officers would find Kinsley near death in the closet of her mother's home. Now, McClure called, Indianapolis Metropolitan Police Department, the officers, after she claimed that her daughter had collapsed and began gurgling. Now, when officers arrived, they found Kinsley severely malnourished, emaciated, her bones protruding. She was covered with waste all over, human waste, active lice. I mean, this was awful. McClure told the police that she regularly confined Kinsley inside the closet and then blocked that closet with a dresser. When they looked inside the closet, they found it smeared with human waste, 3 empty bottles of Ensure, and a hard, uneaten peanut butter sandwich. Kinsley was rushed to Riley Children's Hospital and unfortunately passed away. She was 5 years old and weighed 21 pounds. Y'all, I can't. This happened in my home state, and they let it happen. So we have to get this out. They failed so egregiously. We have to get it out. I am sorry to bum you guys out. I do have palate cleanser videos, but this is absolutely needs to be named and shamed. We need to get eyes on this. I will be making a standalone video of this, so please share it out because this is the only way we get stuff moving. When the public gets mad enough about this, then new safeguards that will actually save children need to be put in place. Kinsley Welty's grandfather hopes that the lawsuit might change policy and ensure that other children do not suffer because of the failures his granddaughter experienced. I want to see policy changes, Brian Welty said. They complained that Kinsley was starving, but no one had seen her, and then they closed the case. He wasn't sure what events led to his grandfather falling through the cracks, whether it was due to a lack of training, staffing, or misunderstanding the policy. The family hopes to find out these answers via a lawsuit. Brian Welty believes that if DCS had put in the effort to meet with his granddaughter and actually document her injuries and neglect, she would still be alive today. When she came to us, she was very sheltered. She did not want any interaction with anyone, Brian Welty said. It took me a long time for her to have that real trust with me. Brian Welty's eyes teared up as he spoke about the brief time that he had Kinsley in his custody, remembering how she loved to play with princesses in a toy castle they bought while she lived with him. We had a wonderful relationship while she was with us, Brian Welty said. I believe this is when she actually felt love for the very first time. So, yeah, I know it's a really, really hard story, but if you could help me share this out, I will be covering the cases once they go to trial, but this is egregious. It's near me, and I do want to get it out. Now we need a bit of a palate cleanser, and it is a Wednesday. So I have this for you guys because that one broke my heart. So we need a little bit of a palate cleanser. So, your cat wants a massage. Yes, he does. And might I just say, where can I find a jacket like this? Also, why do you have a tiger? If you can't get your real life cat to want to, do this without, getting its murder mittens out, don't make us do it.
Slow down, you're moving too fast. That says a lot about life and about cat massage. Cat massage is the easiest way to produce a cat smile and is a reliable source for cat.
I think you mean a cat snapped episode. And now, I love Lord Dingus of the Chaos Dimension as much as the next person, but no. Lord Dingus still has his nails, and he's a Maine Coon, and I don't feel like fighting an 40-pound cat to give it a cat smile. Also, ma'am, how many Quaaludes have you had? Those are some wide open eyes.
Giggles.
Hi, I'm
Rue McClanahan? The Golden Girl is going to teach us how to massage our cats. Has Wednesday ever been more awesome? Oh my Bob Ross, I am here for this. Teach us, Rue.
McClanahan, and I'm just about to host this video on the loving care of your cat. But first, somebody told me there's a cat over here I should see.
Y'all, what in the name of... You know what? I love this. Blanche is going to take us to a cat lounge. Blanche is here and she's going to show us proper
Oh my gosh! Kitty cats everywhere!
And make sure that you get the part that went over the fence last. Yeah, I know.
I don't know if we should be watching cat like was that consensual cat enema? I don't know.
Please. It's very, very good. Sometimes you make some scratch, some noise on this side. Keep in the middle, hold in the middle, and little bit higher.
Now take a look at my kitty through time lapse. Go through the whole.
Things you can say on OnlyFans and the Humane Society. Also, ma'am, wow. Oh, okay.
Whole procedure.
I feel like we're watching only cats and I should be paying for this and do what now? Okay, this is actually kind of fun. Oh, that's it. You guys, we are going to the cat princess pet show. I'm down for it. Cats in ball gowns.
Wrap the cat in the towel, and now we're ready to dry.
That cat's like, I know where a stiletto is.
It's Pudgy Wudgy and the Two-Headed Teenager, coming to a newsstand near you in KD Country. I'm Dave Crawley.
That cat didn't want to wear that.
Who's the best cat in the United States? It's you, Champer Damper. It's you.
Well, apparently we don't love our cats enough. And just for good measure, Christian dating.
Hello, who is it? Barb, what are you doing? Nancy! Can you even believe how amazing much we learned at one weekend at Acquire the Fire? About life and love and happiness and security in our faith? And, of course, sex. Nancy! My precious moments are listening.
Her precious moments are listening. We can't talk about the Horizonte Tango. The precious moments are looking at us, especially the one nativity set.
I mean, the absence of sex, silly? Remember courting, not dating? Gag me. Dating? Ugh, never.
Gag me? I'll take conversations that have never happened for 800, Alex. But let's see how fellow teenagers, yes, fellow young people, how do you talk to other people about abstinence? They obviously haven't learned about soaking yet. That's a whole nother video.
Well, remember that when Kurt calls.
Hey, baby.
Kurt!
I'm dead! I'm dead! Kirk! Kirk's like 40 years old. Why is Kirk talking to a 17-year-old with a gingham bedspread? Where is Chris Hansen when you need him? Because I'm pretty sure Kurt has a 401k, and this chick over here still listening to Nancy Drew novels. So we've got a whole other issue here.
What are you calling for?
You called me, or am I answering the call of the wild?
I don't...
Well, I'm officially a lesbian after that pickup line. I must go inform Mr. Moe.
don't think I understand. What's that squeaking noise?
I'm sorry, that must be my deltoid rubbing up against the phone cord.
He's such a sweaty hunk.
What? You know, because what I find most attractive about a man is when he does the... I'm pretty... Also, your deltoid is up here at... No, those are your traps. No. Either... Yeah. Okie dokie. Sounds like... You've walked into Mo Finds Weird Stuff on the internet and helps you by wasting your time and we watch found footage clips. There you go. Ladies, he's sniffing his or his armpits. You know, control yourselves.
Beefy, my gizmo. Remember what the Word of God said. Look, Kurt, I don't think this is going to work out.
I knew it! You tramp! You act all friendly like I'm gonna get something out of it, and then you clam up like some holy prude.
Wait right there! How dare you demean my Christian beliefs?
Oh my God. Oh my God. I am totally using this the next time Mr. Mo wants to have postmarital sex. You know how I feel about that? Abstinence. And be like, how dare you take my strongly held beliefs? It's like they've went into the future only... Hi. No, there's not a wig back there. You cannot eat...
You need to believe in something bigger than your bicep, buddy. I dare you to treat women with
Well.
respect. In the meantime, I dare you to be a man.
Well, I'm abstinent for life now. Thank you, found footage. Well, I can now that I've been Bob Barkered. Hey, spay and neuter your parents, you'll have no more siblings. Well, hey, you guys, let's all go get some dark chocolate and get some taxes done. Dark chocolate could sharpen your memory within an hour. I'm going to have to do this before I do any merch. Certain bitter compounds in plants, the kind that are found naturally in cocoa, apples, berries, and red wine, may temporarily boost memory by activating the brain's internal alarm system. So the next time I take the SATs, I just need to eat a Snickers and then I'll understand, absinthe is to liquor as, botulism is to what? So there you go. Now, researchers at the Shibara Institute of Technology in Japan have found that when mice consumed flavonoids, the plant-based compounds known for their antioxidant properties, their brains release a surge of noradrenaline, or a chemical that's linked to alertness and focus. Yeah, that's true. Looks like I'm going to be day drinking for focus, you guys. Red wine with Sprite at every meal. Now, we've got some stories that will make you, scratch your noggin and wonder if the entire world is on Quaaludes or we simply took the wrong pill when given the, Neo Matrix question. Or is CERN mixed up? I don't know, but get your dark chocolate and let's figure this one out.
The key keep its grove, thou glowing shrine of thirst traps, scams, and dollar signs. We chant in tones both grim and low, for virtue fled a long time ago. Kyrie eleison, Christe descendat, final form Jesus return in wrath. With six-pack glistening, sword in hand, he cometh swift to cleanse the land.
Well, it's a Cyclops cat. A kitten born in Brazil has been dubbed Cyclops cat after it was born with only one eye, as seen in a viral video. I'm 32 years old and I've never seen anything like this in my life, said farmhand Gilberto Almeida of the One-Eyed Feline, which was born November 4th in Vienna, a state in Rodana, which I know I'm not pronouncing correctly, so somewhere in Brazil. Now, the monocular mouse catcher was part of a litter of 4, but was the only one born with just one eye. The accompanying footage shows Almeida clutching the black kitten who looks so peculiar it could have been AI generated. Now, sadly, because of the malformation, the poor little cat only lasted 2 days, but definitely a big kind of weird thing. I don't know why you would put it on X though, but there you go. It was big news in Brazil, a one-eyed cat. And I really didn't know where to put that in anywhere else. Well, science has figured out that Emma Stone is actually the most beautiful woman in the world, according to the Golden Ratio, and Zendaya is a close second up. So if you are wondering mathematically who was prettier, apparently it's Emma Stone. Now, I didn't, really care to go into that. But there you go. Emma Stone is the most beautiful woman in the world, according to a new study using the Greek Golden Ratio of beauty. Now, the Oscar-winning star of Poor Things in La La Land was found to be 94.72% accurate, according to the Golden Ratio, which measures physical perfection. Emma Stone is the clear winner with all elements of the face measured for physical perfection. So let's hope she doesn't get cosmetic surgery. Now, I personally think they all look attractive, so I've never kind of quantified it, but I'll always pick Dolly before I pick Emma Stone, so. And I don't need people to tell me based on science who's attractive. But if you do, they've done the math for us, and that's the kind of math I like. Math done for me. Well, some art troll decided to sneak in AI-generated art onto a museum wall where it hung unnoticed by hundreds of viewers. Just in case artificial intelligence wasn't already encroaching on enough of human spaces of late, a troll in the art world sneakily displayed a piece of AI-generated art in a museum in the UK last month before bemused visitors alerted employees to the artificially intelligent design. Now, the digital print had been surreptitiously showcased at the National Museum in Cardiff, Wales, by a secretive artist, Elias Marrow, who said the work was viewed by a few hundred people before its removal. Yes. No, please. I'm glad that he was able to get off the couch, in my way. Now, rendered in the style of a historical oil painting, the machine-generated masterpiece depicted a young boy in a school uniform who was sitting down with a book under his arm and an empty plate on his lap. Now, Marrow had reportedly sketched out the image before rendering it with AI and making prints. Now, to complete the effect, he hung it beside a plaque of the Magnus Opus, identifying it as the empty plate, along with a listing of the medium and the lender. It read, digital print on paper, custom made frame, limited edition, and signed on loan from the artist 2025. Now, the gorilla artwork was reportedly displayed in the museum's contemporary art gallery for several hours before sharp-eyed visitors caught wise to the con and brought it to the attention of staff, who you would think would have noticed a new picture going up at any time. One tourist from Ireland said they initially wondered why such a poor quality AI piece was hanging there without being labeled as AI, but when the guest approached staff, they said they had no idea about the piece or when it had arrived. The item was placed without permission on a gallery wall, the museum said. We were alerted to this and have removed it. Nonetheless, the undercover exhibition proved a triumph for Marrow, who said that guests responded well and even took photos. The provocateur was seemingly channeling fellow prankster and golden toilet mastermind Marazzo Catalan, and said the goal of cybernetic knockoff art was to illustrate how public institutions decide what's worth showing and what happens when something outside that system appears in it. Seems like you just wanted to be a troll, but I'm glad that you're using words to justify it. Now, he said that the use of AI in artwork represented the natural evolution of artistic tools, declaring that AI is here to stay, to gatekeep as capably. Its capability would be against, beliefs that he holds dear about his art. Now, this isn't Marrow's first, rodeo of being a provocateur. In July, he placed an unsanctioned work at 2 UK museums, including a painted brick in Tate's Modern Turbine Hall in London and a placard at the Bristol Museum and Art Gallery. Despite not getting green lights for his displays, Marrow claims that his work isn't about disruption, but about participation without permission. Oh my gosh, I'm using that next time I buy something without Mr. Mo knowing. I am participating I'm participating without permission. Well, Bonnie Blue is back in the news for something even more degenerate, which I didn't think was possible, but Bonnie Blue, lowering and raising the bar of degeneracy at the same time. She is the Rosa Parks of smut, I guess. A porn star is slamming Bonnie Blue for wanting to film with barely legal teens. Again, just when you thought she couldn't be degenerate enough or more, she goes and lowers and raises the bar of hodacity simultaneously. A former friend of the controversial Smex worker, Bonnie Blue, has panned claims that the 26-year-old will be in Australia for schoolies. Now, apparently schoolies are the annual rite where year 12 students, think seniors in high school, blow off steam after a year of studying. It's also become the playground of adult content creators. Ew. These creators film with barely legal teenagers and upload those videos to their subscription sites to make money, and it's caused a general uproar among parents in the past. Now, one of the most controversial stars to do this is Bonnie Blue, whose real name is Tia Billinger. Now, last year, the Australian government denied the British national a visa to get in the country to film on the Gold Coast with schoolies students. Yeah, that's kind of gross. Kind of a whole lot gross. Now, as a backup plan, she planned to go to Fiji with Anne Knight, who's been dubbed Australia's most sexually active woman. The Olympics. Y'all laugh at me, but I think we need to make it a sporting event. At least. But after the pair relocated to a popular resort in Nadi during the annual student celebration, Fiji's Minister for Administration, Pau Dikotara, declared Knight and Blue were prohibited immigrants, and deportation proceedings commenced by local authorities, according to Fiji outlets. Now, the two women fled the island nation before they could be formally deported. How much of a hoe must one hoe to be deported from a country due to audacity? Now, Blue has claimed that despite the issue of her Australian visa being cancelled, she will still be hitting the Gold Coast for the schoolies in 2025. PDF ... file says what, ma'am? Allegedly in Minecraft. I don't want to give too much away, but let's say I've got good lawyers and I'll be doing the schoolies this year. That's a single entendre, ma'am, and I don't approve of you doing those. A good lawyer gets you a long way, maybe even down under. Also a tagline I would use if I had a law degree. In an exclusive interview with news.com.au, Knight says she believes Blue will not be in Australia for the schoolies. Her visa has been cancelled. She can't come to Australia, and she doesn't have a lawyer who can change Australian laws. I know 100% certainty that she's in Bali right now, currently getting content to post in 3 weeks' time to pretend to be at the schoolies, but she'll have left before the schoolies begin. More lies and deceit as usual. Now, according to the Department of Home Affairs website, there are only a handful of visas that someone can apply for once you've had one refused or canceled. Now, news.com.au contacted Blue about the claims. Now, Knight, who lives on the Gold Coast, said that she can't help but roll her eyes every time Blue pulls a stunt. The Olympics coming to you in 2028 for the chicks that can't get to Australia. Now, a major Chinese bridge has collapsed into a river just months after opening for traffic. Yeah. Looks like they're still having a lot of issues with drag construction. China has been having a lot of new construction and things like that break because of substandard or poor supplies being used, safety standards not being followed. So this is going to be a big embarrassment, especially as it is related to infrastructure, and China's really been putting up that they're doing great things with infrastructure. So this is a little bit of a blunder for them. A massive bridge at a hydropower station in southwest China collapsed Tuesday, sending concrete and steel plunging into a river just months after it opened for public traffic. Now, Reuters reported that an official from Barkham County confirmed the collapse to Chinese state-run Global Times, saying that no casualties had been reported. Now, I do want to remind you guys that this is Chinese state-owned news, so the casualties or lack thereof may be a little bit sus. We don't know. Basically, China isn't transparent. Now, the report added that cracks had been detected days earlier on the bridge's road surface and slope, prompting authorities to impose temporary traffic controls. Now, footage of the collapse has been widely shared on Chinese social media and showed the Hongkou Bridge in the Sichuan province buckling before falling into the river below, sending up a massive cloud of dust. Now, it occurred around 3 p.m. local time near the G317 National Highway, according to China Central Television. Now, local transportation and public security bureaus said that the right bank slope of the bridge was showing signs of deformation on Monday afternoon, just hours before the collapse. Now, authorities quickly shut down the structure to all traffic and issued a public warning for potential safety risks. So it might be very true that no one passed away or was injured because they had closed it down, but this is still going to be a big old issue. Now, according to Times Now, the Hongqin Bridge was located in Sichuan province's mountainous Mangrang area and was completed earlier this year as part of the G317 National Highway, an important route connecting central China to Tibet. So, yeah, keep on the lookout. I'll try to keep you guys updated, but it definitely is going to be something we will probably not hear with full transparency how this went down. But I will keep a lookout on it and see if we get any, information on that. In sad news, it looks like a cooking influencer has passed away in a horrible accident while traveling in Texas. Influencer Michael Durante, who created cooking content under the name Food with Bare Hands, passed away Saturday, November 8th, while traveling in Texas. It's with a heavy heart that we share the sad news that Michael Durante has passed away in a horrible accident, said family friend Nina Paritsky on a GoFundMe page about the California-based chef who posted cooking videos during the online COOF. Michael's death occurred just 3 short days after he and his wife celebrated their 9-year anniversary. Now, his cause of death has not been given, but it did say that it really came without warning. Now, his talent agency has also shared the news of his passing, and definitely sending out condolences to his wife, his family, and all of his fans. It's hard when you lose someone who put out positive content, who made your days brighter. So I do hope that they are getting together and supporting each other during this. He leaves behind his wife Jessica and their 6-year-old daughter Oakley. Now fans have flooded his Instagram with condolences, many sharing personal memories of how they helped them during hard times. The barbecue cooking community was just rocked to its core, one wrote. So many people are fighting battles we know nothing about. Let's be there for people. And that's a great sentiment. Reach out to people, let them know if they made your day better. A lot of times we don't appreciate the little things that people do. And, we always kick ourselves. Why didn't I ever say, directly that I appreciate that? Well, let's make it a point to tell people today that we directly appreciate, or let people, know what they mean to us while we have an opportunity to do it, because we don't ever know what people are hiding behind smiles or, work or things like that. And as much as I'm an a-hole, I do try to preach kindness. Now, I didn't know it was an option. I guess he's going to try Daryl Brooks. I just don't consent to death. It's an interesting thought. I pulled this story because this is interesting, and it might be a legal case that comes up, or motions might be filed because of this. A Tennessee death row inmate has declined to choose between the chair or injection. Tennessee death row inmate Harold Wayne Nichols on Monday declined to choose between either the chair or the injection for his December 11th execution, which means that the state will default to the injection. Now, he was sentenced to death in 1990 after convicted of assaulting and murdering Karen Pulley, a 21-year-old student at Chattanooga State University 2 years earlier. He's had 2 weeks to change his mind about choosing which method will be used, according to the Department of Correction, Tennessee. So it does look like he still has a little bit of time if he'd rather go to the chair. Now, he was scheduled to end his life in 2020 and had chosen the chair, but was given a reprieve due to the COOF. Tennessee inmates who were convicted of crimes before January 1999 are permitted to choose electrocution over injection. Although several states do permit the use of the chair, it's only been used 5 times in the past decade, and all of those times in Tennessee. Go Vols! At the time, Nichols selected electrocution, as you do, I guess. Now, Tennessee's lethal injection protocol uses 3 different drugs in a series. Now, it was a process that inmates' attorneys claimed was riddled with problems, and their concerns were shown to have merit in 2022 when Governor Bill Lee paused executions, including a second execution date for Nichols. An independent review of the state's protocol for injection found that none of the drugs prepared for the 7 inmates executed in Tennessee since 2018 had ever been properly tested. Now, the Correction Department issued a new protocol last December that utilizes a single drug, phenobarbital. So no more 3, just 1. So there you go. Now, attorneys for several death row inmates have sued over the new protocol, but a trial regarding that will not be scheduled until, or not be going through until April. So there are already civil, or at least legal, questions about changing of the protocol, but those cases aren't set to go through until April. So it does seem like he is going to be given just the new protocol without anything, unless his defense attorneys do file something. Now, Nichols did confess to both the assault and murder of Pulley, as well as several other assaults in the Chattanooga area. Although he has expressed remorse at the trial, he admitted that he would have continued with his violent behavior had he not been arrested. So, yeah, I kind of feel like bon voyage. When you meet Satan, say hello. I don't really care the method of delivery, although I do feel like a Hunger Games island would be fun, but this is why I'm not next to the levers of power. I don't know what to make of this, you guys. I pulled this because, well, it looks like something I would say, and I know there's a big kerfuffle and, hullabaloo about Tucker, but this does seem like to be something, looks like something I would be interested in. Now, the U.S. military is being accused of secret climate spraying operations and dumping 60 million tons of toxic nanoparticles into our skies. The U.S. military has been accused of spraying toxic chemicals into the air for decades as part of a secret program that backfired in its goal of stopping global warming. I mean, seems harebrained. Seems like something that a bunch of nuts would figure out and then the government would spend money about. So, I mean, I say plausible. And thank you so much, JKD Buck, for being a member for 14 months. And thank you. Yeah, I think that was what Heaven's Gate, and I do believe that's also, a lot of people have used that, but I'm trying to remember specifically, and my brain is doing a brain fart. Dane Wigington, an environmental researcher for nearly 30 years, claims that the conspiracy surrounding chemtrails is not only true, but has actually crippled the Earth's ability to naturally overcome pollution caused by humans. Now, the chemtrail conspiracy focuses on the idea that the government has been spraying a host of chemicals from commercial airliners for several reasons, including one to control the weather or to make people sick. Now, a vast majority of scientists and the U.S. government have long declared that the theory of chemtrails is false, and that they're mostly condensation trails or contrails, and they're seen as a result of water vapor from the aircraft exhaust freezing into ice crystals as it hits cold air at high altitudes. However, Wigington said that lab tests on rain samples, photos of specialized planes carrying these chemicals, and government documentation, as well as whistleblower testimony, all indicates clear evidence that there has been a secret program that has attempted to weaponize the weather. Now, the researcher claims that the U.S. military has built several massive weather control programs over the last few years. Okay, the government can barely work at the DMV. You're telling me that the government got, global, multifaceted weather to work? Have you been to your DMV? Have you been on Indiana roads? They can't even fix a pothole. And you're telling me that the government, the bureaucrats who can't even figure out how to do a DD-214 without 700 other paperwork, all got together and no one blabbed about this? It's not that I don't believe in conspiracies. I just don't believe that our government can cogently and efficiently pull off said conspiracies. I mean, I don't even trust the government to fill potholes because they can't. So I have to say I call BS on the government being able to, do a tight, well-funded, and well-organized anything ever. Now, he has estimated that airliners equipped with these secret nozzles and tanks on their wings have been filled with aluminum, barium, magnesium, graphene, Ian, I see you from Tim Pool, and various polymers have been dumped between 40 and 60 million tons of these nanoparticles in the sky every year. Now, these programs are literally disabling the planet's counterbalancing life support system, he said on Tucker Carlson's show. So if you want to see all of it, I don't think that the government would ever be able to do a competent conspiracy. Change my mind. Now, Wigington has claimed that the U.S. military has been the main group that's been spraying the chemtrails throughout the world, using their own planes as well as secretly modified commercial jets to hide the operation. Now, the researcher claims that he's been collecting evidence of this program for 27 years, noting that Congress has even acknowledged the existence of the operation, which allegedly dates back to the 1940s. Now, in a 1978 report titled Weather Modification, Programs, Problems, Policy, and Potential, that was published by U.S. Senate Subcommittee on Oceans and International Environments, as well as documenting testimonies, research summaries, and policy discussions on U.S. weather modifying efforts over the last 4 decades. I don't see the government being able to do this, but okay. And to what point? But there you go. I mean, I'm willing to watch the Tucker Carlson thing, but I just, maybe the government, maybe the cabal of, secret lizard people are not functionally thinking enthusiasts, as I've always thought. Maybe they are super secret geniuses that have totally changed our weather. Anything that gets me a catillion, I guess. Now, it does look like, and I have gotten competing things about this, but it does look like the Supreme Court has weighed in on the SNAP benefits. I know that there was a federal injunction placed that the SNAP benefits had to go out for November, but it looks like the Supreme Court is siding with the current administration, at least for now. And I know this isn't a political channel, but it's still going through legal stuff. Now, the Supreme Court on November 11th again declined to order the Trump administration to fully fund SNAP food benefits, giving Congress time to resolve the issue through a pending deal to end the government shutdown. Now, the court kept the district judge's funding order on hold until November 13th, freezing action without considering which side has the better legal argument. Now, Judge and Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson had previously paused the district judge's funding deadline while Boston-based First U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals was considering it. So it does look like they are definitely, jumping in with at least something. Again, it does look like there might potentially be a deal coming forth, but keep an eye on it because it doesn't look like anything is going to happen fast. But the Supreme Court has weighed in, at least sort of, by staying that and giving time for Congress to do something. Now, getting Congress to do anything is about like getting youngest, most feral to do his chores. So maybe we need to offer them stickers or something. Now, just for you guys, because it's Wednesday, I pulled this headline for no other reason than Elizabeth Hurley in a swimsuit. You're welcome. And gosh, I want to look as hot as her when I'm 60. But there you go. For no reason whatsoever, just a palate cleaner, and she looks hot still, and I want to look like that. But, we got a lot of bad news. Why not we get some news of Elizabeth Hurley in a bikini? Even if she is dating, Billy Ray. But you can have his achy breaky heart. I'll take your swimsuit body when you're done with it. Now for naming and shaming, and we've got some doozies for you guys. With my friend Lord Chippy and I, we will be naming and shaming the monsters who are running through our justice system again and again. If the mugshot doesn't say it, then Mo will. Let's get to the naming and shaming.
They're our skin, they steal our grace. These monsters wear a human face. No gavel, no badge, no throne, no crown can stop Lord Chippy from burning them down. Justice ain't fast, justice ain't clean. It's a long, sharp road through the in-between. So raise your fists and light your flames. Chippy's coming and he don't play games.
That's it. I'm moving to Tennessee. I always make fun of Michigan, but apparently Indiana is now the Florida of the Midwest, and I'm moving to Tennessee. I'm changing. I no longer want to be a Hoosier after all of this shenanigans. Yet another monstrous parent that I get to report on from my home state. You stand all night. A man forced his children to stand until their legs were numb and threatened to, quote, slaughter them in their sleep. On behalf of all Hoosiers, we don't claim him. Please take him to Guam. An Indiana man accused of CA on several children, allegedly laying hands on them, threatening them, and then making them stand on a corner for hours on end, has been found and charged at least. Curtis Bordenkircher, 35, has been charged with 4 counts of neglect of a dependent, with cruelty, confining, or abandoning, and 2 counts of intimidation and threatening to commit a forcible felony. Now, the charges were filed this month in Hancock County Superior Court, but the investigation into the allegations started in October. Now, it's unclear what the suspect's exact relation to his victims are, but law enforcement became aware of the case after a child texted their mother to ask for help. Hancock County Sheriff's Office deputies arrived at the home in New Palestine on October 15th and heard a slew of allegations against Curtis. Now, one of the girls said that Curtis hit her with a belt and made her stand in the corner of her room until her legs went numb, calling her dumb and a disappointment. Let me have 5 minutes with this man. I will set him straight. Allegedly in Minecraft, and then I get immunity. So again, this monster definitely will be keeping up with this case. Now, the transgressions would even further to him taking out a knife and threatening to unalive them in their sleep. Now, the children were made to stand in the corner at the home for up to 6 hours, and they could only use the restroom if Curtis wasn't even in the home. You're all in the corner until your legs are numb. I have no sympathy. You can stand all night, is what he allegedly said. Now, he did manage to post his $600 cash bond on November 6th, and as part of the agreement, he has no contact with the 4 children. Now, he is scheduled to appear in court for a pretrial conference in December. Now, as always with everyone that I bring you, he is presumed innocent until adjudicated a dirtball. That being said, I'm going to go ahead and in the court of public opinion say that mugshot, guilty. Thank goodness this was stopped, but what is wrong with people? You can disagree with people without having to be violent. I have plenty of friends that I don't disagree with every political idea, every religious idea that they have, but you know what? I'm able to treat them like a human because I'm an adult. Gonna look like a genocide. A Florida man threatened to shoot up mega churches in Operation Murder the Corruption. A Florida man is behind bars after he allegedly threatened to open fire on Christ Fellowship Church, mega churches, and politicians he had deemed to be corrupt. Now, Michael Labone, 32, stands accused of making terroristic threats. The Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office began investigating Saturday after receiving tips about a man making threats and videos and posting them to Facebook. Hey, douche canoes, if you want to do something evil, maybe don't post your evil plans in, Facebook, page of premeditation. I'm glad you got caught. I'm glad you're so braggadocious that we got to get you before you found out. But also, doesn't he look like Steve from Blue's Clues? Or the guy from Fix-It Felix Jr. from Wreck-It Ralph. I'm like, why is Fix-It Felix Jr., gone off the bend? Now, apparently, Michael had recently been fired from his job and had posted a series of concerning videos to social media starting on November 4th, a probable cause affidavit said. I got fired and I'm fired up, he says, allegedly mimicking firing a rifle with his hands. Now, per the affidavit, he went on to say, I would never take my own life, but I understand the people that I'm going to be going after are and could potentially be dangerous. I'm going after mega churches. Christ Fellowship is on my list to hit as well. Now, Michael allegedly said since he's single, he would be able to quickly leave the area. Now, cops were especially concerned because the day after the video was posted, Christ Fellowship was slated to host a Make a Meal, Make an Impact event that was expected to attract around 1,000 people. Now, the defendant lives less than 2 miles away from the church and had signed up to take a tour of the building. Now, it's unclear why he made threats against the churches, mega churches, politicians. Now, he did post another video on Friday where he made more threats. Because if you give me the opportunity to defend myself, it's going to look like a genocide, he reportedly said. Don't F my self-deletion. A dead man switch has been chosen if anything happens to me while I'm expressing my First Amendment right to freedom of speech. Red rumming people is not protected under the First Amendment. I don't know who needs to hear that, but no, it's not. Operation Murder the Corruption will begin. I have evidence of 5 very powerful politicians that have only destroyed the country more than MAGA has. I know who you are. I dream of the day you're put 20 feet under in prison and forgotten millions of Americans will thank you for my service. Investigators say he was in possession of firearms as Florida Fish and Wildlife caught him firing a force multiplier in a public space in 2023. Now, he was arrested and taken to Palm Beach Jail, where he does remain on a $250,000 bond. Yeah. Now, I'm sure that his defense attorneys are going to bring out, mitigating mental health, but no, you're not allowed to threaten to take out, everyone at a church. That's not free speech. And again, this mugshot, I am not surprised with this headline. Sometimes I look up law and crime and I'm like, am I shocked when I look at the mugshot and I read the headline? And I really never have been. I'm coming for you. A man detonated a bomb at an apartment after learning his ex-girlfriend was with a new man. As you do. I mean, who doesn't have what's a little TNT and heartbreak between friends? An Oregon man allegedly detonated a bomb at an apartment after he learned that his ex-girlfriend was hooking up with another man. Well, she's your ex, so that's her new boyfriend, not... Okay. Now, court records show that 37-year-old Samuel Christian Lund is facing a slew of charges, including 5 counts of attempted bread rum, 4 counts of unlawful use of a weapon, 2 counts of unlawful manufacture of a destructive device, along with 1 count each of first-degree arson and felon in possession of a firearm. Now, this incident occurred on October 6th at an apartment in Cornelius, which is a suburb of West Portland. Now, according to the affidavit obtained by local ABC affiliate, a man living in the apartment said he opened the door around 4 a.m. and saw a man dressed all in black. He shut the door and heard a tink, tink, tink sound coming from outside, followed by an explosion that sent debris flying. There are also gunshots fired into the door. Now, neighbors said they saw the suspect riding away from the scene on an e-bike. This man drove an e-bike to deliver an IED to an apartment. Let me look at and again, mugshot. I am not shocked. I am not shocked. I could imagine this dude doing that. An e-bike. Now, a woman reportedly told her cops that her ex-boyfriend, Lund, had been sending her threatening text messages the day before when he learned that she was hooking up with another man. The messages were, pretty cussy. Now, the woman said that Lund also owned an e-bike. It's almost like you were caught red-handed and he had dressed all in black to get away. Now, when cops did confront Lund, he reportedly admitted to sending messages, but claimed that he'd never detonated a bomb. However, he did say he had experience with explosives and had a bomb in his backpack. He might just be a scotch of the guilty. Like, no, that's the other bomb that I was planning. Yes, that is right. I have no words. In a good story to end this on, though, a Purple Heart had been found abandoned in a safe deposit box, was returned to the original recipient's own family. A Purple Heart belonging to a World War II veteran from Illinois spent decades in a safe deposit box before it was returned to his family in time for Veterans Day. Now, the Purple Heart was awarded to U.S. Army Rifleman James Bennett during World War II and ended up in the possession of the Illinois State Treasurer Michael Friris as part of Operation Purple Heart, a program he launched to return military medals from abandoned safe deposit boxes to their rightful owners. We have to do a bit of homework and detective work out there. We work with the media, with Chicago Tribune, to track down some of these families because it's not always easy, Friedrich has told Fox 32 Chicago. Now, Bennett was a longtime resident of Oak Park and passed away in 1990 at the age of 76. His wife, Anne, had died 7 years prior to his passing. The couple's niece, Patty Nines, became legal guardian of their daughter, Susan, who suffered from mental disabilities. Now, Kynes said that Susan had not been expected to survive beyond childhood, but had lived into her 50s. Now, Kynes didn't know about the safety deposit box in Ann Bennett's name until she was contacted by the Purple Heart operation. Now, the box's contents had been surrendered to the Attorney General's office in 2022. I knew nothing about that safe deposit box, she told the reporter. When my aunt and uncle passed, a lot of items were also passed on, but in no way did I know about this. It was very exciting, and he really was a great guy. Now, he presented, the Purple Heart that Bennett had been awarded in a ceremony on Monday. I think I'm just going to display it at home. I also want to take a picture and send it to all the relatives that are alive and encourage them to share it too. I hope that this also encourages other people to look into getting their Purple Hearts from their family members. Now, Friedrich says that Operation Purple Heart work is ongoing. This is the 17th Purple Heart we've been able to return since taking office. I believe that it's the most in the country, but our job is not done yet. We still have 6 more in our possession that we would love to get into the warm embrace of their family and out of our cold vault. So this is actually a really good thing. I mean, as much as Chicago is kind of, not so great in doing anything governmentally, this is a really good program. And I'm glad that, the family was able to get back a piece of their history, especially from someone who fought for our safety and protection in probably one of the most pivotal, fights of their generation. Well, definitely the most pivotal of their generation, but one that's gone on to shape our entire history, so I definitely have a lot of respect to the veterans. Thank you for your service belatedly from yesterday. Thank you guys so much. Mr. Moe, he did a lot of home stuff, but we got our fireplace working, which means that I'm not freezing anymore. So thank your veterans in your life. And oh my, the blue eyeshadow. Again, I don't understand the 70s. How was this a look? I feel like Mimi from Drew Carey or anyone from Edward Scissorhands. That being said, blue frosted eyeshadow still works. I still think it looks better on brown eyes. Well, I did raise my hand, but I didn't get through basic. So I don't take full credit, but I did, sort of. But I will see you guys tomorrow. If I'm feeling froggy and better, we might do a whole found clip stream tomorrow just for fun, feeling better, because I do want to get back to doing 2 streams a day. So that'll be tomorrow. I am going to go run some errands with Mr. Moe. I have to be where the people are, sadly. I think he wants to take me out because I'm pretty sure that the restaurant people thinks that he's cheating with at least 3 different women. I have told them that I have wigs, but I think he still gets weird looks. Yeah, blue eyes with blue eyeshadow. It's just not a look I get, but hey. Now I'm going to go sing Islands in the Stream with Kenny Rogers. I'll see you guys in a little bit. Remember, be kind to yourself, be kind to others, but have a sassy mouth and carry a can of bitch fire, because you may have been born a coal miner's daughter, but you don't have to take any shit for it. Bye, you guys.